Welcome back to another Switch Sports Golf video. This is round 1 of week 3 of the Shotgun Pro League. I'm joined by 7 other golfers once again today, including my captain Aidan, so hoping that we can put up some low scores this week. As you can see by the graphic on screen, I'll need to shoot better than a 23 under to improve my overall score, whilst Aidan will need to beat his 21. Our consistency has netted us with a 3rd place overall as a team, so let's see what we can do. Hole 1, 2 miles an hour of wind. We've got that back right pin. Just under a full power drive will give us 111 yards to go. We'll need a fuller 9-iron in order to reach this pin. I'd prefer to use 9-iron as opposed to 7-iron because it's just more consistent. We need about 3.8, 3.9 dots of power.
Nice shot.
That's what we get. And yeah, the ball's just trending a little bit too far to the right. But that'll be fine.
Nice.
We see a nice chip in from Hunter. It's a great start to this 3rd week. And a chip in from Lloyd as well. Some great eagles. Great showing from our group so far. So that'll push Lloyd and Hunter to 2 under after 1. Rest of the group will be at 1 under after 1. Hole 2, once again, 2 miles an hour of wind. We've got the front right pin this time. Standard 0 wind adjustment is 1 square to the right. Just slightly to the left to account for that 2 miles an hour of wind. What about 3 1/4 dots of power? All centered on its way. Nice hole-in-one from Hunter. Ours is just slightly too far to the left.
Nice one.
And we see a nice hole-in-one from Aidan. That's brilliant to see. Cress with a hole-in-one as well. As we tap the birdie in there.
Nice birdie.
So that will be 3 hole-in-ones. Really good that we can see Aidan picking up a hole-in-one to push his score to 3 under after 2. So hole 3, we've got a pretty difficult pin and max wind. Hole 3 being my preferred hole, one of my favourites. But this one is quite tricky, so let's see what we can do on this one. We'll send a full power drive and let that left to right wind carry it to the right hand side of the fairway. And because of this pin position, we'll want to go to the left of this big tree, and hopefully the wind will push us towards the hole.
Nice shot.
Anywhere in the rough or the bunker is preferred, because you can get slightly more spin, and we end up perfectly in the bunker. So the strategy here will be to aim the ball slightly left of the pin, go for about pin high power, add plenty of spin so that the ball stops and we get slight rollback. We'll send the ball up there, take a good first bounce, and just sneak it on the left edge for a beautiful chip-in eagle. So that'll be eagles for myself and also Dino. A great shot from him. He'll push up to 4 under. Let's see what we can do for hole 4. We have 9 miles an hour of wind. The front left pin this hole is quite precise because you have to bounce the ball just to the right of the hole and spin it back. And I want to play quite an aggressive round today because beating 23 under is no easy feat.
Nice shot.
So we've got to take every chance we get. And we smack the pin. Wow,
Nice
if it was just a slight bit more to the right, could have maybe snuck it by, spun it back for the hole-in-one. So we'll just have to tap in the birdie.
Nice birdie.
See a few close calls, and that'll be birdies all around for our group. Myself and Aiden at 5 under after 4. We're off to a steady pace. Aiden, if he keeps this up, he'll secure a nice 22 under and improve his score for the team. I still need 2 more chip-ins in order to be on pace for the 24. So we still need to play a bit more aggressively as we see some helpful tailwind for hole 5. 13 miles an hour will allow us to get just to the edge of the fringe and allow us to have a nice chip. So we send a full power drive. 275 yards left to go. And how should we play this second shot? The idea behind aiming slightly further over to the right is so that we'll take some of that crosswind out of our third shot. You can see all 7 players slightly closer to the hole because we clipped the rough on our second shot, which puts us slightly further back. So we'll club up to the 7. 7 iron with about 1 dot of power, so pin high will allow us to at least have a chance. See a nice chip in from Lloyd. Dino smacks the pin. And a nice chip in from Hunter, so he'll get the eagle. He's on brilliant pace. Let's see. You have to aim slightly over to the right. Hope that this wind adjustment is enough. No, it's not.
Nice approach.
Once again, a really close approach. So we'll just have to tap in the birdie.
Nice birdie.
So that'll be eagles for Hunter and Lloyd. Hunter pushing to 8 under after 5. We're just 2 shots back at 6 under. Moving on to hole 6. Got some nice 0 wind to play with. And we've got the back left pin. That'll mean that we can shoot a full power spoon off to the right hand side of this fairway. Be careful not to adjust too far that we end up in the rough. We'll end up in a pretty comfortable spot with 158 left to go. I think I'm a little closer than I'd like to be. But you can play a much more aggressive line because you can add some spin on the 5 iron as opposed to using the tree strategy going on the left hand side, which we've seen some of our players do here. So the standard is just a half square to the left. As we see a nice chip in from Cress. He'll get the eagle. And a chip in from Lloyd as well. Lloyd will get the eagle. He will join Hunter. We see a little pump fake faking out the camera, but that's fine. We'll make sure that we get our 3.5.
Nice shot.
Let's see. Takes a good first bounce, comes around. That looks good. And wow.
Nice approach.
Another really close call. Perhaps a smidge more power and that would have gone in. It's hard to tell. I'm not as comfortable with this strategy. It's one that I've been toying with recently. We see Lloyd will join Hunter at 9 under after 6. Myself and Aiden will be coasting smoothly at 7 under after 6. So let's move on to hole 7. Got the back pin and 9 miles an hour wind. See some different strategies come out from our players. Some opt in for the driver hook strategy. That'll put you nicely at the edge of this fairway. 2.5 on the driver is about standard to get to the edge. Because we've only got crosswind, we don't have to worry about any extra power adjustment. And we're left with just over 200 yards. So for this pin, we'll want to use the spoon to roll it up. And we want to avoid the fringe at all costs. Hitting the green is preferred. Let's see where we end up. We do hit the green first. That's good. The adjustment was perfect. But unfortunately, just a little bit more power was needed for that one. So we'll have to tap in the birdie. In these rounds, you can never complain with a birdie on the front 9. But we need to start seeing some chip-ins in order to improve our score. Moving on to hole 8. We've got some, looks like pretty heavy headwind. Yeah, 15 miles an hour. Normally I prefer to go with an iron and spin it. But with this amount of headwind, I'm a bit unfamiliar power-wise. And I don't want to send this too far or too short. Both of them will put us in the danger zone. So I'll go for about 2.3 on the spoon. And we'll see what we can do. Send it on the right trajectory. Just an unfortunate bounce to the left. As we see, was that a hole-in one? It was, from Hunter. Hunter once again. Showcasing why he deserves to be the world record holder. Resort or the front 9 is normally a bit more difficult to get chip-ins on. And we see, oh no, an unfortunate par from Aiden, our teammate. Believe he had the unfortunate micro putt that we all fear when we play this game. You can have such a close approach, end up really close to the hole, and then that glitch will force the game into thinking you want a specific amount of power. You end up with about half of the power that you want.
Nice shot.
Hole 9, some more headwind. We send almost a full power drive up there. See a lot of players choosing the hook strategy, hooking the ball around the tree to avoid any trouble hitting them. I'll go for the same. Full power with that full curve. Getting it really close to the fairway. Luckily we'll escape it. We've got 127 yards to try and attack this pin. If I was going for a more consistent strategy, I would try and aim further to the right because that's the safe zone. However, we're not going safe this round. We're trying to get every single chip in possible. So I'll go for a more aggressive line. Go for the 3-iron. I prefer the 3-iron on this pin because you don't get as much spin. And we'll go for about pin high for the power. We'll see. Takes a good first bounce. Looks like we've got decent power. The adjustment was just a bit too far over to the right.
Nice approach.
That's okay because we'll end up with a nice tap-in birdie to finish off our front 9.
Nice birdie.
Some other nice birdies get tapped in there. And that'll be birdies for 7 out of the 8 of us. Dino with an unfortunate par. So Hunter will be at 13 under after 9, which has put him on great pace. We'll see if he can continue that on to the back 9. It's a good condition here. We've got 6 miles an hour of direct tailwind. And we've got the back left pin.
Nice shot.
This is the typical pin that you'll find if you play on the local mode. I'm a little bit more familiar with this. However, with 6 miles an hour of tailwind, I'm a bit apprehensive using the roll-up strategy because I'm not sure about what power to use. So we see a nice chip in from Zen. It's a great shot from him. We'll get a nice eagle to start the back 9. We see a lovely chip in as well from our captain, Aiden. So I'll go for about 3.5, and we'll try and do the old
Nice shot.
roll spin. It's a nice first bounce. Just on the left-hand side.
Nice approach.
So if we went just a touch more to the right, that would have been a nice eagle to start off.
Nice birdie.
But unfortunately, whether we get it right next to the cup or miles down the green and tapping a birdie, we'll end up with the same result. So Aiden and Zen will join myself at 11 under. Lloyd with a chip in as well. Great shot from him. He'll push up to 14 under with Hunter. Hole 11, also the local pin. We've got 2 miles an hour of crosswind. Because this hole is on the local mode, I do often get the power confused. I'll try and send about 3.25 with a lot of spin. Our ball gets a decent first bounce, but that'll be just a bit too much power. The ball tends to be on a good line.
Nice approach.
We see a couple of hole-in-ones. Lloyd again with a beautiful hole-in-one. And Hunter. These two are on a crazy round so far. And Cress as well with a great ace. So that's Lloyd and Hunter on 16 under after 11. Keep an eye on myself and Aiden. We're both on 12, so we're on decent pace. Just not quite getting those all-important makes. Hole 12, 9 miles an hour of direct tailwind. I think we'll want to take just a slight
Nice shot.
amount of power off of this, just so that we don't risk ending up on the rough. And we'll do that nicely. And end up just on the edge of the fairway on this nice shortcut. Let's have a look at what pin we've got. We've got the front right pin. This one's a nice one to attack with spin. Slightly more crosswind for our second shot. We'll want to send almost full power. Because of our tee shot having some tailwind, we can afford to lose a little bit of power. See. Ball takes a good first bounce. Will it make it all the way back? It will. Yes.
Chipping albatross.
A chipping albatross on hole 12. How about that? Ball rolls down. Catches some nice spin. Just sinks on the back of the cup. I'll be the only one that makes the albatross, but everybody else stays consistent with the eagle. I'll push to 15 under after 12, which is great feeling. So with that albatross on hole 12, puts us on pace for a 23 currently. So one more make now put us where we want to be. Hole 13, it's a preferred pin position, but with this amount of tailwind, if we were to use the spoon, we risk it taking a lower first bounce and launching completely off of the green. I'm unsure in terms of adjustment for us to use spin, but I think with the potential risk of our game being ended, we can play slightly aggressively with the 5-iron. So we'll go for about 3.1, 3.2 dots of power. Yeah, and just slightly too much power. We didn't adjust enough for the wind. Diagonal tailwind is just difficult in and of itself. But at least we'll be left with a nice birdie putt, which will sink no problem at all. There'll be birdies for everybody on that one. So tough pin position and wind combo. Everybody will comfortably secure the birdie. Move on to a nice zero wind hole 14. Starting to see some of the zero wind conditions come out this week. Zero wind, we can comfortably take this shortcut in between the two trees.
Nice shot.
So we'll thread the needle between these front trees, just get under the further tree. We'll be left with a nice 161 yards to attack this. Looks like back right pin position. Not quite sure what to do here in terms of adjustment. I know we'll need about 3.5, maybe 3.4 dots of power. That's the thing with these zero wind conditions. If you know it, you know it. But if you don't, it's just a guessing game.
Nice shot.
So we send 3.4 up there. Nice chip in from Hunter. And probably just slightly too little power from our part. We see a shot come through from Aiden, and that will sink. Beautiful chip in albatross from our captain. And we'll be left with a fairly straightforward putt for a nice eagle. That'll be a nice albatross for Hunter, and as well for Aiden. He'll push right back up to catch me at 18 under. So we're both on 23 under pace as we go into hole 15. We've got the pin on the front left-hand side of the green. So we'll send a full power drive up there. I choose to go on the left-hand side of the fairway today because we have a different pin position than we've had before. And we'll be left with an almost full crosswind shot. Because I'm used to ending up on in the rough all the time. The adjustment is a bit alien to me. So I end up going about 5 squares to the left, I think that is. And we'll go for almost full power. We see another chip in from Hunter. Great shot. And yeah, we'll end up just slightly too far to the left. That's one where inexperience can get the most of you. But once again, a fairly close approach will give us a nice look at the birdie putt. We didn't see it on the screen, but Cress with another eagle as well. He's on great pace for, I believe that's 25 under. And let's see, we've got hole 16, max tailwind with a slight bit of right to left, which does help us because we're on one of the bottom tee positions. For this kind of max wind condition, we want to aim to almost have full power and basically hit a tree and have that take our power off. So let's see what we can do. Oh no, did Aiden go? Aiden went OB. Oh man, really unfortunate from him.
Nice approach.
And that was a demonstration just there of what we can do with those bottom tee positions. Clipping that part of the tree, and we end up with, surprisingly, a tap-in eagle on hole 16. We'll take that any day of the week. And that'll be 5 eagles from the group. Unfortunately, Aiden, after going out of bounds, he'll get the bogey. So that'll unfortunately be his round over there. Ooh, we've got hole 17 with the front pin position and some slightly unhelpful headwind. I know in the local mode, with this amount of headwind, you can make it roll up and onto the green. And I've been playing a little bit of local mode recently to try and get that 27 under. So that was my aim. My aim was to have it sort of in line with the pin. Have it glide up. It takes a good first bounce, but unfortunately just bounces to a stop. And the reason why this is such an issue, we see a nice birdie from Aiden, so he'll recover pretty well. The reason this is an issue is because now we've introduced a lot more left to right with the wind. So it's a lot harder. Send the chip up, and yeah, looked like it was on a good line, but that's the problem with hole 17. You can very easily steal one shot away from your overall score. Unfortunately, that's what's going to happen to me, along with 3 other players. Hunter, though, 27 under after 17. Will mean if he gets the eagle, he'll get a lovely 29 under. See 22 miles an hour of crosswind. There's slight tailwind though, which means that we can take this shortcut on the left hand side. Try and send a full power drive. It's just slightly too much on the adjustment. But luckily with that bit of right to left wind, we'll keep it on the fairway. In order for us to improve our score, we'd need an albatross on this hole. So we'll see what we can do. I mean, this is a very tough look. The back right hand pin. I decide to go for the 5-iron, as you can see by the terrain map.
Nice shot.
We'll probably want about full, but I end up getting Just 3.8, and yeah, this is just a... This is a terrible approach. It's not going to matter for our overall score, but sinking this chip would be one of those feel-good shots. So let's see, we get a nice bounce, and we do sink the chip.
Chip in even.
So a decent chip in at the end will give us a 23 under for round 5, which unfortunately won't improve our overall score, but still good as we can use this momentum to hopefully carry on into next game. Aiden with a nice 21 under, unfortunately that also won't improve his score,
Finish.
but there's still one more game to go this week, so make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss that video. It also helps me out a ton. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time for round 2.